Hey guys, welcome back to Heiko Shaves. Today I am going to attempt to answer the age-old question. Do you need an aggressive razor or an efficient razor to take off a lot of growth, or can you do that with a mild razor? So what we're going to do today is we're more or less doing a comparison between a Leaf Twig, which is one of my absolute favorites for the daily shave because it's so mild and forgiving, and the Mühle R41. We're going to put a new blade in this one and a new blade in this one. I'm going to use a Leaf blade, which this came with in this one, and a Wilkinson sword blade in the R41. And then we're going to lather up with, good old faithful Proraso Green. I'll put some Proraso Green pre-shave on just to help it out. And since I'm out of Proraso Green aftershave, we're just going to substitute Awesome Sauce PAA, which is similar in scent. So everyone knows the R41 is known in the shaving world as one of the, more aggressive razors. And some people like it and some people really hate it. And they nick themselves and cut themselves. I've reviewed it before. I was able to shave with it without destroying my face. And I think I can do it again. Here in my face today is as much as I can muster in 1 week. This is about 7 days or 6.5 days of growth. Where's the point where it goes from stubbles to a beard? I think is when it starts getting soft. And this is about the case here. This is almost a beard, not quite there yet. But I'm going back to work tomorrow and I want to be clean shaven. And of course I want to make a fascinating video for you guys. So that's why this comparison between the Leaf Twig, which is the milder one of the Leaf razors. I also have the Thorn sitting here, which is slightly, tiny little smidge more aggressive. And this one is nicely rounded over and you can really go for it almost blindfolded at 6 o'clock in the morning. So this is one of my go-to daily shave razors. And then the R41 is one of those, for me it's an exception that I would use this. It's really only for YouTube content because it's just a little too harsh, a little too aggressive. But I know there are other people out there, they have skin made out of steel, they have no problem with this. But I guess the average Joe, a lot of us, we would not necessarily go for an R41. But let's load up. Here are the Leaf blades. We're just gonna get one out. They make those half blades. They come in a pack of what, 50? 50, yeah. So they're packaged here, and those blades actually hold up pretty well. I just leave the blade in the Leaf Twig until I feel like it's starting to tug, and then I just throw it away. I don't even count how many shaves I put on one of those blades. So let's put that away. All right, and you guys have seen the videos. You guys know that I have done a few shaves with a Twig and with a Thorn and some comparisons and all that. So here's one of those half blades. It's exactly half of a DE blade. And then you just open this. And yeah, this is dirty. I rinse off razors. Sometimes I run the cleaning toothbrush over it, but this one here is in use so frequently that I just, so goes in there. So you guys know there is a magnet that kind of helps you, assists you in loading. And then there are those little tabs, one here, one there. And you just got to make sure you have the blade sitting on those. And then you just tighten it down. So one is loaded. And now we're going to do this here. This is a typical 3-piece Mühle R41, the cousin of the R89. This is it's kind of a hybrid open comb. It's not fully open comb, but it's not fully closed comb either. And we're going to grab one of my Wilkinson sword blades here and slap that on here. Typical 3-piece arrangement. This is all, I would say this is cast zinc alloy and this is a brass handle. I'm not 100% sure. Alignment looks good. As you can see, there is the blade. And then you have the gaps in between those teeth, and wherever there is a gap, the blade is pretty much wide out in the open. And that makes it so efficient. All right, so we got that all done. Let's do Proraso Green pre-shave. I like to always put a little bit of water on my stubbles first. Sink is already filled. So you guys know that I always use, just fill my sink with water. That's the place where I go to rinse off my razors, just shake out the razor in it. And then I have a little emesis basin next to it. Emesis basin is like the puke in the hospital. This is a vintage one from the 50s, made out of metal, enameled, whatever. And I just have fresh water in there to dip my shave brush in it. So let's take some green Proraso pre-shave. That was a lot. Perfect. And we're just rubbing it in. And that helps soften things up. I still have a little owie here, so we're going to go over this side with a twig because I don't want to scratch this open again. It's just started to heal up nicely. That's primarily the reason why I wasn't shaving all week. I was off at home working on my DIY projects, and I didn't really need to be clean shaven, and it literally turned into almost a beard. So pre-shave is in my face. Wash my hand off, and let's put that away. All right, I haven't picked a brush. Let's pick a brush. Let's just take one that we haven't used in a while. Shall we do, here, let's do the aquarium style Yachi brush synthetic knot. Sitting here with a little aquarium down there. Looks good. And Proraso green, almost gone. We're almost through the pug. I've had this now for, what, a year and a half, roughly? Synthetic knots, you don't really need to pre-soak. You don't have to put in water for a long time. They're not going to absorb anything. I'm just dipping it in and then immediately go here into my little Proraso cup. And we're just lathering away. A little nasally. I think allergies plus, I don't know, whatever bug is going around. But I think I'm okay. It's just a little. Alright, that's loaded up for sure. I know we're going to lather in my face. Those Yachi brushes with a synthetic knot, they're really well made. The handles feel good. I mean, this is all resin handles that are machined into the shape that they are. Very well done. I would recommend to go for the synthetic knots rather than the badgers. You know, first of all, nowadays it's really not necessary to use natural fibers from a critter. And you know, they don't have any stench, they don't stink. If you, oops, making a mess. If you get a synthetic knot that has a shorter loft, that makes the bristles stiffer, and that gives it more backbone. So if you like to have a more stiff brush for a more lathering action, get one with a shorter loft. So the loft is how tall the brush is. Oh, the Proraso green scent is just one of my favorites. I haven't used it in a while, especially because I'm out of Proraso green aftershave. They make a 400 milliliter bottle that you can buy in some places, pretty expensive, where you can even put a kind of a spray head on it and then use it kind of like a cologne spray bottle or perfume spray bottle and spray it all over yourself. I like the scent of Proraso green. If they would just make a cologne for the guys, that would be great. I've emailed them. I've never gotten a response from Proraso. I've emailed them before. But yeah. All right, let's get started with the shaving action here. So a mild razor on one side and a really more or less aggressive, you know, maybe this is on my 1 through 5 scale, it's at a 4. This is definitely known out there to be a little bit more aggressive. And we're going to compare which razor actually does a better job taking off everything. In both we have a brand new blade. This is Wilkinson Sword and this is a Leaf half blade. And they should both be relatively simple. Okay, we're going to do with a grain. With a leaf twig, you can literally go over bumps and pimples without even cutting them, but I think I just did. Ugh. Look at that, how it takes that off. No tugging. So tugging is when the blade isn't sharp enough to cut through, but rather cuts into it and then tugs on it and pulls on it, like you're pulling your hair out, kind of. This is a tugging sensation. And when you get that, then the blade isn't sharp enough for the job or for your steel wire stubbles. Very nice. So there is really, I mean, this is disgusting, lots of stubbles, but there is no clogging going on. This razor is just so well designed that the lather just goes right through. It's amazing. And this is already 80% taken off here. With that razor, I can shave in the morning, no worries. The only damage that I ever caused with one of those is I didn't pay attention to the little alignment tabs and the blade wasn't in straight, and then I just tightened it down and then one edge of the blade was sticking out and I got like cut right here and bleeding. It was like before work in the morning. I looked like someone tried to butcher me. Little skin tugging down here. Or skin stretching, not tugging, sorry. Okay, and now upper lip. That's always the most sensitive area at my face when it comes to long stubbles and trying to cut those off, because then it bites in and tugs on it. And as you can see, I'm also stretching that skin. As you can see, I'm always doing a little bit of blade buffing, which is the repetitive motion over the same area. What I haven't tried is if I can do this rocking motion with a twig. Oh, very good. Yeah, my off week is over. I worked on my carport project outside. I took the boys shooting some small caliber pistol. They were really excited about it. Had all kinds of other activities going on. So since I was talking so much, I'm gonna re-lather this side here because Proasso tends to dry up pretty quickly. So we're just going to freshen this up a little bit. Kind of like that. All right, and now R41, harshness and aggression. We'll see. We're just going to be careful, low pressure, find your angle. When you feel the blade is cutting, you just stick to that. Here we go. Yeah, no big deal. There is significantly more blade feel, I can tell you that. And now down here I do a little bit of stretching. I have a hair growing out of this. This is ugly. Let's shave this off. Anyways, when you get older, suddenly hair starts growing out of your ears. Your eyebrows get long, like inch long, out of your nose. It's really disgusting. This definitely has a little bit easier time to cut off everything at once due to, you know, the blade is just wide out in the open. In between those teeth, there is no guard, no protection. It's almost like you're shaving with a straight edge razor. So let's try to do the rocking motion under my nose. Yeah, so for sure the R41 needed less blade buffing to achieve the same result. I'm pretty much 80% smooth. The only benefit of the Twig here on this side was that you have way less blade feel, and the risk of nicking yourself and cutting yourself is way reduced, way reduced. I think there is just no problem with this razor. I cannot see a scenario where I would just randomly cut myself, unless I have a little pimple or whatever, and chop that off. Whereas with a R41, I don't dare to do this because there is just more blade exposure. It's more exposed and positive blade exposure. All right, let's lather up one more time. I think for the sake of the health of my skin, I'm only going to do 2 passes today. That should suffice. Still a little owie there. It just keeps staying infected. Grown in hair is a thing. If you shave too aggressively, too close to the skin, you cut your stubbles off below the skin, so to speak, then there is a chance that the hair will grow back but will be caught under your skin, and then it gets infected and annoys the heck out of you, and then you can't shave properly. So it's a thing. That's why a lot of guys, they just do 1 pass with a grain and be done with it. And if you have a razor that's efficient enough to give you a relatively close shave, then that's pretty much all you need. But I do like shaving, and so here we go. Let's do across the grain. That usually takes care, because it's a 90-degree angle to the cutting direction that we just did, and that usually takes care of the last few percent left. I'm gonna cut around my little owie. This is also considered skin stretching by doing this. I'm laying flat the wrinkles so you don't accidentally get caught on one of your wrinkles. Turning 49 in a couple of weeks. Yeah, very good. I really like this thing. I wish they would make one out of titanium or stainless steel. This is all zinc alloy. It will not last forever, especially if you don't clean it. It can be taken apart. I've showed this in a video before. But it will shave for a very long time. I have an affiliate account with Leaf. I put some links down below for you guys. If you want to support the channel, go over there, pick yourself up a pack of blades or a razor or whatever else they have offered. You know what? I'm going to go against the grain here with this one. Hear that? With this razor I can just do that with no problem. Love it. All right, and now we're going to be careful. Yeah, let's lather up one more time. I'm talking too much and I'm making a mess, absolutely mess here. Brasso green, nice and cold. If you have never tried it, just give it a whirl. It's one of my favorites. Okay, here we go. R41 across the grain. Just be careful not to cut off your lip. I am for sure using the smallest amount of pressure that I can achieve. It is a thing of respect. You just got to respect the tool. You know what? Let's see if I can do it against the grain. Down here. Stretching. Very little pressure. And let's do the upper lip. You always have to kind of run over the corner of your mouth, or else you will leave a couple of little stubbles here, and then later in the day you're going to be annoyed that you missed those. So I'm always going over the edge there. All right, let's see what the result is. They are identical. So the first pass, the twig wasn't quite as efficient as the Mühle R41 on the first pass. So if you would be a one pass only shaver, you would probably get a closer, cleaner result with the R41 if you're careful. But then if you have subsequent passes, once the majority is gone, then the twig can get really close to your skin. So the result after two passes with a obligatory amount of blade buffing is identical. It's absolutely identical. There's no difference. And so now the question really is, do you like it mild and gentle and no risk of, cutting yourself? This is just, I see comments sometimes where people, oh yeah, with this thing I cut myself all the time. Sorry for me to say that, but you must be doing something wrong. Either you push too hard, where you're going the wrong direction on your first pass. You first have to remove most of the stubbles before you do any kind of across the grain or against the grain. You have to figure out in which direction your stubbles are actually growing out of your face, and then just follow that. That's why here, upper section of my face, it's down the hill. Down here, it's up the hill with the grain. So you have to kind of map your face, figure out where your stubbles are growing. And with this thing, it's really almost impossible for me to cause any kind of damage. That's why I keep doing this. Silly, I know. I gave myself a little nick with the R41. I felt it when it happened, but wasn't significant. It's just a tiny little bleeder. I'm not going to even worry about aluminum on it or whatever. I know a lot of people are totally into using alum block all the time, every time, to see how irritated their face is. Yeah, aluminum in your bloodstream, it's probably not a good idea, even though the science is still kind of controversial and contradictory. I'm just not going to do it. So let's rinse off real quick. Very good. You should see my sink now. I'm not going to show you. It's disgusting. I mean, the stubbles I cut off, they are like between 1/8 and 1/4 of an inch long. And we got this all taken off in just 2 passes. And here in this case, maybe I was just lucky that I picked the mild razor that had absolutely no problem with it. Because, you see the close comb down here, and there's a relatively large gap between the blade edge and this close comb. So there's a lot of space where stubbles can go. I wonder if I would have done the same thing, let's say with, where's my Mühle R40, correction, here's my Merkur 34C. Once there's a blade in there, the openings are really small. And I wonder if that would have been clogged up a little bit more easily. Then of course the R41 here, there is no clogging ever. You could cut down a tree with this thing and you wouldn't be able to clog this up. Of course, joking. Don't try that. I've tried it. It doesn't work. All right, so face is clean, stubbles are gone. And now we're going to put some awesome sauce, PAA, Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements. It's kind of similar to Proraso Green, not quite exactly the same. It's an alcohol-based aftershave, of course. It gives you a little bit of a burning sensation, especially if there are some little nicks, but it smells good and it stays around for a very long time. That's why they call it a aftershave and cologne, which is really good. This has been my go-to since I ran out of Proraso Green, which was my go-to before. So that's why I'm always grabbing this. And if you guys have any kind of dry skin situation in your face, like I have here, right up here on my cheeks, always very dry, this Glycolate Haut Balsam. I bought that in Germany, but I think if you look around, maybe if I look around and find an Amazon link, I'll put it down below. This is a glycerin-based, completely unscented, so no scented oils, nothing in here. There is no mineral oil products in here, so it's very good. Even when I use my little Yuka app on my phone that rates all those products and gives you the ingredient list, I think we're at like an 86 out of 100. So it's a pretty good product. And I put this on my problem areas. Let's say you're even a little older and you know your elbows are always rough from, I don't know, maybe it's just your skin. Just put some on your elbows, put some on your cracked heels on your feet. I tell you, this stuff is magical. I don't know how it does that, and I don't know how I could have lived for so long, almost 49 years now, without ever coming across this product, especially since I grew up in Germany, and this is a German product made by Brunos GmbH. Oh, hergestellt in Germany, but the company that actually distributes this is in Austria. Okay, an Austrian product made in Germany. So that's fine with me. And it works. It really works. So this is really my skincare these days. I just slap some aftershave in my face and then put some cream on the problem zones or on my little nicks there, because this glycerin-based, it's almost the consistency of Vaseline. It's pretty thick, but it doesn't feel as smeary and sticky as Vaseline. So I put that on and it doesn't bother me at all. And my skin is really happy about it. Alrighty guys, I'm just rambling now. We did the comparison. You draw your own conclusions. I think both ways work. If you have a mild razor that can handle the onslaught of stubbles, just use it. If you like the more rough feeling, the little bit more bladey feeling. I was also reminded of there is no German word of the day anymore. Let's do it. I just did Haut Balsam, which is skin, not skin lotion, skin cream. A balsam is a word in English as well, right? So Haut is skin. So there is your German word of the day. And thank you for hanging out with me. Thanks for shaving with me. And I will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.